I run an executive search and leadership development organization here in Johannesburg in Hyde Park. And I came across the poster for Doc on Instagram. I don't know you, Doc, but I love the title of your book, Billionaire Habits. And I'm here to learn mental shift as well, because I believe it's all about growing and shifting your mindsets and being an continuous expensiveness. So I'm quite excited to connect and meet you, sir. And hopefully I can book you for our team as well in the office.
Welcome. So let's hold the camera. You want to introduce yourself?
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Adiola Johnson. I am originally from Nigeria. I knew Doc through the Nigerian Association team. My expectations for today is definitely mind shift, just like as the young beautiful lady said. I also want to learn how to manage wealth, because my dream ambition is to be a business tycoon one day. So yeah, I expect to learn. Thank you.
So we have two couples. If anybody comes, we won't have them introduce themselves. So let's take the two of you. Let's start with you.
All right.
Hi everyone. My name is Nabil Beko. I got to know Dr. in 2020 COVID. Along the line, I keep checking your Facebook. I kind of sent a message to ask you then that can I be office in South Africa? And since then, I've been following you. And today, it's more or less like a dream comes true. When you're looking at where you are going and you see someone who has been there, then there's certainty that you get there. Thank you so much.
Good morning, sir. I'd like to say your outfit is nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm glad to be here. I'm grateful to God for this beautiful day, and I'm ultimately looking forward to my take home for today, because I know I'm certainly not going to return the same way I have come. Yes, my name is Oluwatomilola. The simple form of it is Tomi. Then my surname is Ashal. I'm from Ekiti State in Nigeria.
Is he your husband?
No.
Oh.
I learned about you from him.
Oh, okay.
Yes, he's a friend in the business. I'm in this new business of real estate, and I see lots of prospects. And he's been my mentor. And then he told me about his mentor.
Okay.
So somehow
Nice. I'm the grand mentor now. You're welcome.
Morning, sir, and good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I will apologize. Sorry, we came in late, or we're the first person to come. So we noticed there was no one there. We went to the buffet.
Now you are late.
That's what I told my husband. You see, now we are late. I'm proud to be here. What was I saying now? Before I'm in Nigeria, first of all. Before I left home, I wanted to go into micro financing. Because I read accounting. I had my first degree in accounting, second degree in banking and finance. And when I came here, I furthered my education. But due to the way things were at home, I couldn't make it. So getting here, I couldn't get a job. So I decided to go on the street myself, and I went into stock fair. So it's like I'm a mini bank. I'm a moving portfolio. So
Moving bank.
I'm telling you, I move when I deliver. So with that, my husband normally is always with you. Sometimes phone again. I'm with my mentor. Mentor I don't even see. So you understand me, like, it's coming, we are going. I was like, wait. I was when the first one was cancelled.
Yeah.
I was like, no, it's coming. It's coming. My wife is coming. I said, I'm waiting. Even when we went to my set to visit one of the prominent person there, Chief Billionaire, my husband is like this. With you. I was like, wow, okay, it's fine, we'll be there. So I want to grow more, because after I said that, I got a lot of land at home. You know, here you save, you buy. Here you save, you buy. Because I remember one of your topics, you talked about land banking. So that was what really took my interest. Right? Okay, I got land, and someone is talking to me and telling me about land banking. So how do I go into this? So not even what my husband is saying. Because, you know, in life, you see life in different perspectives. You can see it through the bottom, I can see it through the other way. So okay, how do I go? Let me go and hear from the businessman myself. Then I know what to do. Thank you very much for having our friend.
Welcome. Let's hear from this man.
Hey.
Hi, Stephen Akintayo. Hi, everyone. Yeah, I got to know about Stephen Akintayo, I think 2 years ago. There's this program, remember that program, was talking about being successful, you have to be intentional and all that. So I really, really enjoyed that program and all that. And one thing about me, whenever I put my mind to something, and there's one thing really changed in me. Before this time, I'm into deals, but I always settle for smaller deals. But when I started hearing things from you, I don't know, you've done a lot. I would want to mention figures. We've done some outrageous figures that I'm sure in terms of deals. So, and these are legitimate deals, not Yahoos. These are legitimate deals. When you say, because before you just want to help, but there's this thing you said that you need to have a price. You need to name your price. And you need to name your price. And there's this thing also said that for you to meet, if you want to meet successful people, don't ask of anything for them.
Yeah.
And that was one, and we as Africans, whenever we see somebody who's a bit successful, we want to want him. And the man you were with in my state the other day, that is the closest way to his heart. You must have A170 must come to play. And so you really change that, because we have this notion he has to give us this entitlements. But I tell you, with all your videos, you disabuse my mind. I wouldn't say you disabuse my mind. And before, when you went into this, my wife kept crying. This amount you guys have mentioned is too little. And these guys will take you serious. But these days, when you mention certain amount, they themselves now tell you, if you go into Valentine, you need to come with big money. They know themselves now. When they start saying, if you're going to big money for that one, they guess those figures. And so, I think you really changed my life. Thank you very much.
Well, now the event is over. Thank you, everybody. Go back home. Because I don't know what to add to what you guys have said. I'm really, I thought I was coming to teach you, but you've taught me. I'm really humbled by the testimonies and the stories. Because sometimes you do something in your small corner, and you don't know that you've made this much impact globally. And you're really shocked. As I started traveling all over the world, I'm practically humbled when I go to places and people tell me the impact of those videos in their lives. And it's funny that I remember my first, it's still like yesterday when I did my first video on Facebook. I had 0 view. It was a live show. I was teaching 5 things, 0 view. Then sometimes maybe one person will come, then 0 view. I was so discouraged. But I kept doing it. Then by the second week, I said, but I have some of my staff here. If they can share the video, maybe more people. So if you watch some of my earliest videos, you see me shouting, share! Yes! I will even be going to their offices. I said, share! You better share! And today, I watched some of those videos. Now they have 500,000 views.
Wow.
Some have 2 million views, on Facebook. And it tells us, and I think that's the first place we should start, where one of the things I shared in the Billionaire. So this was the first book. I think this came out immediately after COVID. And a lot of things I shared here, if you read this book, honestly, everybody who's read this book have said to me, if I had a guy, I was in Uganda, and this particular gentleman was saying, I don't read all these motivational books. It was a TV show, live TV show. I think it was this book. He then started flipping, started flipping. While we're still on that interview, he said, I'm going to read this book. This one I'm going to read. A lot of these other books just look like somebody's just cooking up something. But this has depth. And that's one of the beautiful things about the book. And one of the reasons was because it was actually video converted now transcribed. So it's as real, it's not some form of monjo jumbo, and it's about how I've gotten to where I am. I started a company with 1,000 Nigerian naira, and today we do transaction multi-billion naira, and we're in Dubai, we're in Nigeria, we're in UK, we're in US, and we're about launching 4 countries. We're launching Cameroon, a new property in Cameroon, so beautiful, facing the sea, massive, over 50 hectares. We're doing Uganda, we're doing Kenya, so we're starting next year. I hope we'll do Cameroon as well, particularly since we have principal here. And the man of big deals. Okay, so maybe we'll do, South Africa as well. But what I realized was that a lot of rich people don't write their stories, right? All African rich people, the richest black man now, there's no book about him, right? There's no day he's done seminars to say, okay, these are some of the principles I've used to build industries, right? Cement, sugar, all of that. There's none. And I realized that because we don't do that, it may be selfish, but we don't realize that we're not replicating ourselves. Your real posterity is not your money. Am I making sense with you? Your real posterity is what? Is what you're able to pass on to the next generation. John D. Rockefeller is gone. How many of you even know John D. Rockefeller? Right? How many of you heard of him from me? First time you heard of him. Right? Now, you can see that even in this room, many people don't know who John D. Rockefeller is. But some of you even know him, right? Some of what probably initially got you attracted to him were probably his investments, which he turned to charity. The Rockefeller Center is some form of charity, actually, right? So IITA in Nigeria is actually a division of Rockefeller Foundation. So many people today are not knowing Rockefeller from the money, but from the impact after he's long gone. And one of the best ways to impact the next generation is to tell your story, is to share what has made you, right? And not be selfish about it. My view is that everybody must write a book before they die. And for me, the first lesson here is the habit of consistency, right? Imagine I was not consistent 8 years ago when I started those videos. Virtually all of you won't be here. Because many of you got to know me was those videos that brought you to know me. But I've been consistent for the last 8 years, just doing videos that are not ending a dime for. Right? But eventually, in the long run, today, over 50% of our sales come from those videos. Because people end up watching those videos and say, okay, well, I think I want to invest in Nigeria. And who else will I talk to if not this man who has been teaching me to encourage me to do that? Of course, the videos also have put me into a lot of troubles as well, because it has also attracted people who think that the subject of wealth is some magic, some abracadabra, where the guy is a billionaire. Once I sign up for his course, in 3 months, I'm a billionaire too, right? The guy is, big in real estate. Once I maybe buy 2 plots from him, I'm now a billionaire, right? And then down the line, maybe you are not consistent. Again, you remember the habit of what? Consistency. That's the first habit we're talking about from this book. And when they are not consistent about that, it then looks as if, oh, I didn't get his result. But ladies and gentlemen, I've consistently done this for 15 years. And before that 15 years, I actually started business at the age of 18. So I had another almost 10 years that the thing wasn't working, but I just kept at it. Are we together now? Yeah. So the first habit I think we should think of is, how can I build the habit of being consistent? Okay, at whatever it is that I've decided to do. How can I have a long-term vision? I have been so discouraged. I remember when I lost 120 million naira, Nigerian naira. At that time, naira was still 150 to $1. So we're talking about over $250,000, if not almost $500,000 at that time. right? Lost it while trying to buy property in Nigeria. Now, imagine I gave up as a result of that encounter. And I said, you know what? This real estate thing is all scam. I've lost so much money. I'm not doing. I'm quitting. Will I be here? The habit of what? Consistency. And I remember saying to myself, I have two options after I calculated and I've lost 120 million. I said the first option is to call a pity party. Right? I go on social media. I say, ladies and gentlemen, I have just been scammed right now. Right? I don't trust anything again out of Nigeria. These old people are scammers. And then people will come. Imagine how I'll get sympathy. How we know it. Don't mind them. That's how they scam me too. And then the whole story will come and then I get that sympathy. Maybe I'll get it for a few weeks, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay? But remember, that whole sympathy will not bring a dime to my pocket. Right? And it will not get me my money back. In fact, I will feel more depressed. Because by what those people are saying, I'm even going to be more what? Depressed. Because I'll see people who just insult me out there. You stupid man, why did you then do real estate in the first place?
Yeah.
I didn't know other business. So I said that's option one. Option two, I choose not to tell anybody and I analyze my mistakes, right? And come up with another strategy, leveraging on all the mistakes I made, and then go back into this business. And I said something to myself, I'll never forget. I said to myself, if I quit this business now, the entire 120 million is gone.
Yeah.
And that 120 million is actually, school fees. Who understand what I'm talking about? I said to myself, I said, that's my school fees. Because after all, I couldn't get somebody who was successful in the business, right, to have teach me, to guide me to avoid making all those pitfalls. Now I've made those pitfalls, now I've learned from that, right? To quit is just to throw that away. So I said, I'm going to go back. I'm going to make the adjustment. And this was in Bejileki. I'm going to make all the adjustments, and then we went back again. Today, we have the largest cluster in a small vicinity in that same Bejileki. Bejileki Lower Forest, where we are opening. I mean, it's just, and it's been the most appreciated property we have. One of those properties we started at 1.5 million is now going for 30 million. One we started at 8 million, no, 6.5 is now going for 50 million. So imagine I gave up. Imagine I did not go back. And nobody heard from me that I lost 120 million until I became a billionaire in the real estate sector. And by the time I was now sharing, and that's one of the lessons you must learn. Never go into shark-infested water when you are bleeding.
Yeah.
Right? It's one of the things I shared in the book. Let me say that again. Never enter a shark-infested water when you are what? Bleeding. When you are bleeding. Because now you are attracting more sharks. Isn't it? You attract what? More sharks. And that's what many of us do unconsciously. In our vulnerable state, right? We call pity party. We tell everybody. And we don't know that that is not in any way encouraging you. It's even demotivating you. You are more discouraged. You are emotionally bastardized by even what those people are what? Are saying. Meanwhile, what you should do is that after you've overcome the challenges, are we together now? You can then start sharing the story, and you see a lot of people say, I can't believe this happened to you. You see people, in fact, today when I share my story, people struggle to believe I've been through poverty. And you don't look like it. You're just making it look sweet, just to, grass to grace. I said, but that's my story. There are people who know me, who know my story. That went to school together, who can tell you it's the truth. Are we learning at all? Are we sure we're learning?
Yeah.
Okay? One of the quotes I shared here about habits under the introduction in page 13. A habit is recurring pattern of behavior that one engage in, either consciously or unconsciously. And one of the things I shared in the book is also that your habit determines your decisions. Your decisions determines your destiny. Right? So, what you should be focused on is not that you want to be rich or that you want to be a billionaire. What you should focus on is your what? Your habits. What am I doing every day, right? Consciously, that is getting me towards the habit of billionaires. That's what we say, billionaire habit. We didn't say how to become a billionaire, right? We're saying the habits that billionaires have.
Yeah.
That if you too can imbibe those habits, it's a matter of time. You're just going to be one of them as well. Right? And I've noticed this over and over again with a lot of successful people. They are people of habits. Right? They are addicted to their habits. Addicted to their habits. For example, one of the habits that a lot of rich people have, and I call it avoiding waste, is the habit of being prudent. The most wealthiest people are the most prudent people when it comes to money. They hate waste, right? They are very, in fact, that's why people call them stingy. How many of you have heard that statement about rich people? So they're stingy. So he has all the money, but just stingy. Right? But why do you think he had the money? He wouldn't have been that rich in the first place.
Exactly.
If he was throwing all the money away. Right? He became rich because he mastered how to be conservative with his money. One of those people say that a lot about is Dangote. And all those who say that about Dangote themselves are not even 0.0% having the kind of money he has. Am I making sense at all? They don't have it. Because the mindset is they are, and they could have had it. They were just wasteful. They just want to, buy. And somebody was sharing this with me yesterday. A lady, she's into real estate. And I asked her this question. So do South Africans buy property? She said, no, Africans don't buy property. They buy lifestyle. They buy lifestyle. And I said to her, unfortunately, it's not just South Africa. It's a global problem with black people. In the US, for example, it's believed that only 8% of black Americans own their house. The whole of America, with all the funding available for real estate, America is the only country in the world that you can have $100,000 and go home with a property worth $2 million. There's no other country. You can have $1 million and you walk away with a $100 million property. It's only in America that you get such. Yet, African Americans refuse to own their property. Okay? Because we would rather have the habits. Again, never forget habits of what? Just acquiring the best clothes, designer. Have you noticed that what's funny is that most of the designers are not owned by Africans. Yes. And even the ones started by Africans, at some point they still buy you out.
Yeah.
Oh. Eh?
It's true.
They still buy you out. At some point, where's Yeezy sneakers now? Okay? Because somehow we just mess it up. We just find a way to just mess it up. So it's a big lesson. Do you know all the richest people in the world don't wear designers?
Yeah.
Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg. They don't. Right? You know why? Poor people buy what they don't need to impress people that don't care. Somebody said, if you want to hide something from a black man, put it in the books, because he will not buy it. I have been to events where I talk about my books, and you will see somebody wear designers from head to toe, and he will tell you could not afford $47 to buy the book. And even the shirt is probably more than $250. Right? So you see why there is a need for a change? look at South Africa, for example. You guys are extremely blessed, right, than any other African country. And you have a massive infrastructure. You know, you go through the streets, which is, by the way, why others are coming to your country. You have all this infrastructure, of course, built by white people, right? You need to face the fact that you black people didn't build.
Correct.
Right? So, they built all these things. We all fought for you guys, right? Yes, I will fought against any South African that forget the story. We need to remind you. The whole of Africa fought for you. We fought for you. Because most of us got independence way early. Nigeria got it 1960. You know, different African countries got it. Libya. I remember Mandela, when they were, you know, the Western world were against Libyan president. Mandela told them that the Libyan president supported apartheid. Was help them with money, help them with things, that we didn't win this war alone. Other African countries supported us, they held us strong. They with money, with resources, whether they were democratically elected government or military, they made it happen. Are we together now?
Yes.
Now, the question is, you now have the country since 1994. How much wealth has moved from the white South Africans to the black South Africans? Since the end of apartheid. The data shows that about 90% of the wealth of South Africa was with the whites before the apartheid.
Yes.
Today, it has increased to about 96%. After the apartheid. More white South Africans still got more wealth. So the question is, we then need to start having that conversation. And this is not just South Africa, it's the same thing with Nigeria. It's the same thing, you go to every African countries and you see us intentionally mismanage our resources.
Yeah.
And we're looking for who to blame.
Yes.
So it's time to start saying, okay, what is wrong? Maybe we have some wrong habits.
Yes.
Am I making sense to us?
Yes.
Maybe our priorities are wrong.
Yeah.
Our mindset too.
Maybe our mindsets are wrong. Maybe most of us are not thinking ownership.
Yeah.
We're only thinking survival and hustling. Am I making sense to you? Are we learning at all?
Yes.
And that's why he doesn't know how impressed I am with his story. You used to work with an insurance company for many years and you did well. And you say, you know what? I'm not even just resigning. I want to be your partner. I'm going to start my own franchise. I give you a percentage, but it's going to be my name. Oh boy. That if more South Africans think like this man, you're going to see some massive change. Massive change. Massive change. But the habit of playing victim has to end. Are we learning here? Yes. I know I'm touching some sensitive things, but the truth has to be said. Huh? Are we still friends?
Yes, sir.
Are we sure? So, in chapter 5, page 159, I talked about work habits. Okay? I'm going to add that, then I go because I have 4 more books to just review. So the way we do this book review, I just talk about maybe a few things that was written in each of the books, right? And then once I'm done, I take your questions. And then after that, those of you who want to buy the book can buy. And I will sign them for you and take pictures. And the event is over, right? So each copy is $47. If you're buying the entire 5, it's $150. Now, if you're asking why am I mentioning dollars, I do. This is a global, book signing I do. It's better to just stick to dollars, right? This evening I'm off to Paris. Tomorrow I'm doing another book signing in Paris. And people often ask me, why do you do this book? Because if you look at the book I have, right? If I sell everything, it's not even up to my business class flight ticket.
Yeah.
So, I'm not doing the book review for money in no way, because my flight ticket, my hotel is usually ×5 of if I even sell the entire books. And not many times I hardly sell the entire books in each of those places. I pay for the venue as well, right? But for me, just the same way with the video, 8 years ago, right? I have learned that it's not every business decision that you must know the end. It's not every, you didn't get that.
Jesus.
It's not every business decision that you must know the end. The whole concept of wealth creation is about taking risk. I have a quote, and my quote says this, that if you hate what is your bank account, it's because your risk level is low. Increase your risk level, and then you increase your income. Practically. Just increase how much risk you take. And people don't understand it. It was so much risky for me to go to Dubai and set up a business. I'm in Nigeria, right? There is never going to be citizenship in UAE. I know that you understand what I'm talking about. Okay? I'm even a Christian, so it's not even I say, okay, it's a Christian country. It's an Islamic nation. It's a Sharia nation. Right? Everything was totally opposite when I went there. And in the first year, we made what we did not make in our first 7 years in business. In 1 year. Taking risk. Are we learning at all?
Yes, sir.
So, number next, right? Part 5. Work habits. So here is what I tell people. You want to be rich? Here's the foundation. Hard work. Any motivation speaker that tells you, and I hope by now you know I'm not a motivation speaker. I'm a businessman who use inspiration and motivation to mentor people, period. But I'm a businessman. That's really what I am.
Yeah.
Because a lot of time motivation speakers say things that are not real. I'm not making sense at all. Because they themselves have not practiced it. For example, you say go start your business. And he doesn't even understand what we call cash flow contract. Right? Because if you understand cash flow contract, he will know that when you start your business, this is where you are.
Yeah.
And according to cash flow contracts, right, these two people here are the same.
They are twins.
I don't know how you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Employee versus self-employed, they're the same.
Yeah.
In fact, sometimes this is worse.
It's worse, yeah.
Because this one, you have a consistent cash flow. Whether we make money or not, my staff will be paid.
Yeah.
Right? Even if you try to explain too much, they're going to tell you, sir, you have deals. Right? And they can harass you at the end of the day. Are we together now? But here, there's no guarantee. Today you make money, tomorrow you're struggling to get 100 rands to even transport yourself and buy gas to do presentation.
Correct.
Now, unfortunately, you can never start your business the first day and be here.
Never.
Facebook didn't, Google didn't, all of them didn't. If they did, they wouldn't have started the garage. Are we learning at all now? Because every business must start what? Here. And even though you start here, you are still the same level. It will then take you years to what? To get here. And me, it's taking me 15 years. Today now I travel 6 months. I'm not in any of our offices. In fact, I've stopped going to any of the offices anymore. I'm now creating my own private office in different countries now that will operate. If I don't go to their own office, because we now have a new CEO for those businesses, and if you keep going, you see now, you undermine his authority, right? And he will not grow in capacity to deal with the issues. Am I making sense at all? So it takes you years to come here, a lot of years. Now you have investment, which is I, which is actually what all of us should have been doing, but that's what we ignore. Whether you are here, employee, your first goal is not to start a business, it's to be an investor.
Yeah.
Whether you are self-employed, your major goal is to what? Because this job you are in is long suffering.
Yeah.
Who knows what I'm talking about? It is teething phase. It will take years before it becomes your next Dangote, your next Shell, your next Chevron, your next this and that. Is somebody eye open here?
Yeah.
So be careful how you listen to motivational talks and you structure your life around motivation. Be careful, because the person teaching you has either done what he's saying, or he's just making the whole thing look sweet and say, yeah, you can do it, go. So anybody that tells you hard work is not important is lying. So here's the secret to wealth and success: hard work plus smart work, aka mental work, and we'll get into that in one of the other books because I talk a lot about it. Plus, and that's also another lie. Some people will tell you, oh, all I need is hard work and smart work. Well, the highest you get with this is $1 million. If you ever get there.
Yeah.
If you ever get there. That's the highest. Right? Hard work will earn you a living. You're going to pay your bills. Right? Smart work, when you add it to the hard work, will earn you some fortune. But true wealth has the third level, which is called what? Who can guess?
Association.
Network. Did you notice that all of them have work in it? You see? So I shared that in part 5, work habits. All the billionaires I know, including the one I recently visited, which is the Osama of Benin, Chief Gabriel Benin, and he has a lot of investment here in South Africa as well. All of them hard work. The man at 89 still meets people. My first time meeting was 5 years ago. In 5 minutes of meeting, he was already telling me to come and do real estate with his university. I was like, Jesus. Who talks like this at that point? He was 84. And who talks like he's a young man at that level? Am I making sense at all?
Yes, sir.
So, everybody, let's really want to go. Hard work plus
Smart work
plus network equals wealth
Equals
or success, whatever you call it. Right? That's the 3 ingredients that must occur. So at the beginning of my business, all I was after was hard work, and I'm glad I did. Because let nobody deceive you, you better work hard. There's no food for a lazy man.
Yes, sir.
Anywhere in the world. So don't deceive yourself. You have to work hard. After a point, I started working smart. I was doing a lot of mental work. And I thought that was the end. Later I realized that it didn't get me far. Okay? And now, the new job I have now, which is why I no longer go to the office, is what? That's why you see me at golf course. Am I making sense at all?
Yeah.
Because now I have to meet extremely wealthy people that we can both rub shoulders together. We can both benefit each other. Right? I just struck a deal now with one of the royal families in Dubai.
Wow.
Amazing opportunity. Right? But by just that 2 network colliding, the speed of the result, right? Right? The idea in itself, you can still do it on your own without a royal family, but you add the network of a royal family, boom. that changes the game. Woo! How many of you are happy to be here? Right? Are you learning at all now?
Yes, sir.
So for me, my new work, and those who know me know this, is now to invest. So sometimes people see me meet rich people. Why do you think those people open the door? It's because I surprised them with a gift. And when they now saw the guy who brought the gift, they said, what kind of a young man takes like this? In my 70 years, everybody wants from me. In my 80 years, everybody wants from me. And where I shocked them the most is that some of them for the next 5 years, I won't ask for a dime. I'm constantly giving. Constantly giving. Because I understand, and this is where some of you also miss it, that this network is a combination of two things, and you should notice it. And you should write it down, never forget. There is the branding aspect of your network. Everybody say branding aspect.
Branding aspect.
In other words, by just the association alone, there is already huge benefits.
Yes.
Am I making sense at all?
Yes.
So, I know people who come see me, a lady, went to school together, and then she came visiting, we were meeting after like 15 years or so. And I just put it on social media. Oh boy, did you see her thanking me? Sir, I just became famous overnight. Thank you. Because by me just taking picture with her, the level has been elevated. In fact, she said people were not coming to her day. Oh, you met the man. How was he? I just want to see him. And she felt like a superstar. So there's the branding aspect of networking. Am I making sense at all?
Yes.
The second aspect is the partnership aspect. Of course, that gives more. You get more returns with that. So there is the aspect of, I met Dr. Steven. He hosted me. He gave me a private audience. That in itself is money. So if you're putting your head to say, compulsory, there must be a deal when there is no deal. Right? Or you want to be rushing the deal when you need to give it time. Now, you just mess the relationship up. But you just keep maintaining it. So some of them, sir, can I come visit you? And of course when I come, I'm coming with a gift. Yeah. So I won't make your 1 hour a wasted time. So you're even happy sharing with a younger guy, sharing your story, your life journey, and you'll be shocked many of them want to share. They just don't want the one that, by the time I tell you, I did a deal of $200 million. I mean, one of them will share with me one day. He said, I lost $200 million. I said, sir, no, hold on. Is it $200,000? He said, no. I invested $200 million into a guy's business. And he screwed me. But he can open up with all those things because I will not say, hey, sir, our own business too, sir. Me, I'm not going for $200 million. If you can just invest $5 million, right? When they know that there's no pressure from you, right? They're excited to share and share and share and hold you accountable. And when they also know you are even the one that want to make sure. And why do I give gifts? The gift can never equate. There's nothing I'm giving any rich man that I can't buy for himself.
Correct.
I'm only just saying, first of all, I'm not taking it for granted. I know this is a rare privilege. I know you are not doing this with everybody.
Correct.
Right? And I know I don't deserve this. It's not like something that is my right. I have the right to just come and take away 1 hour of your time. No. So this gift is something I'm using to say thank you for the audience. Thank you for opening the door. Are we together now? Thank you for your will. Now you will never see me meet anybody without a gift. Never. And it's in the scripture. The Bible says the gift of a man. That gift there is not talent. It's not how to sing. It's that when you bring a gift, the person becomes soft. Who is that? Right? The person becomes soft. The person becomes, more loving, it becomes calmer. And this works a lot with women. Some of you are still single men here. The single man, this one. This one, I used to 1, 2, 3. So let's teach you. Relationship 101. Okay? Relationship 101. One of the powerful principles to soften a woman's heart. Haven't you noticed that some of the most, sorry to use that word, not too handsome men, always marry beautiful women?
Yeah. Correct.
Eh? You've noticed. You know the secret? Gifts. It opens the doors. So you've been trying to ask the lady, I've said, look, you're not my type. I don't have any feeling. You're not my type. Imagine. You just start bringing gifts. You see that from, you are not my type. You're not my type. The room is already open. Right? Right? By the time you repeat it, oh, shoot. And usually I don't date people like you. Give it a try. The gift of a man. Even in marriage, those of us who are married men, right? The love, the way the day I bought my wife a car, oh Jesus, the food was different. The food was different. The prayers was different. Of course, the one that happened in the other room was different. Right? Gift. Powerful. Are we together now?
Yes, sir.
So, because many of you, by the time we're done, your question would be, so how do I get powerful network, right? That's why I'm emphasizing on the gifts. Send a gift. Don't even need to meet them. Send a gift. Build a reputation that you're a person who appreciates people. Right? Build a reputation that you are the person that elders can work with. Yorubas have this idea that when a young man knows how to wash his hands, he will eat with elders. He will eat with elders.
Wow.
He will eat with elders. Everybody I met in Chief Gabriel's house during this last visit, he was giving them everything. Right? I brought something. And he has for me. That is the mindset that will change Africans.
Wow.
From poverty to wealth. It's the same thing I shared yesterday that's affecting our presidents. They go to all this Western world begging. Then support us. We need water in Kenya. Support us. We need development in Nigeria. Meanwhile, wasn't it your wealth they used to build those places?
Okay.
How did they build the UK? Was it not all that they were extracting from the Commonwealth countries? How did they build America? Was it not the black slaves? So why go like you're a beggar? Are we together now? But the reason our leaders do that is because that's really how we behave. It's a habit of we black people. You see anybody richer than you, the first thing that comes to your mind is, can I beg? Meanwhile, there's more money to be made by what? Branding, by partnership. Am I making sense at all? Yes, more money to be what? To be made. From branding yourself by associating with such people, by partnering with such people, more money to be made. A lot more money. And so once you begin to turn things around that way, you will see that things begin to change. I had a young entertainer, and shock he's not here. You know, and he was sharing his dreams with me. And I told him, I said, I'm with you. With small, I said, we can raise $100,000. I will use my reputation. I can work with you. Give me a proposal. I'll also invest, but I don't want to be the only investor because I've seen how that works in Africa. Right? You come, be careful, and this is another lesson you must learn. If you come, Africa is a complex place to learn.
Yeah.
You come like the big guy, you want to help an African. One day he will die like Mufa. I mean, is it bad? And everything will be pinned on you. And you may not even be involved. People will dig up old stuff. I don't know how you understand. I say you are still the one behind it. So I said to him, I said, I won't be the sole investor. No, I'm not going to. I've learned that one. But I will use my reputation to bring more investors. I will give you that money. I will put my own too. And see how we can support your entertainment career. Extremely creative guy, extremely gifted. I'm sure he probably will come here before the day ends. But my point was, can you see a man that if I were to give him money, how much would I have given him? Just to say, oh, let me support you. Even to even say, okay, do gigs for me. Right? Maybe do video. Maybe $1,000. Now I'm trying to help him raise 200,000. You see the difference? So, and this is oftentimes what usually happens. We throw away a lot of money just because of something small. Wow. Is this good?
Yes, sir.
Are you sure?
Sure.
Well, read more in the book. I can assure you there's so much to learn from the book. And my advice, don't just buy the book for yourself, buy for your loved ones. And I shared that in the Billionaire Code. I call it mutually beneficial relationship. In fact, in chapter 4, I talked about honest relationship. Most billionaires have attitude of picking friends that are not perfect but honest. Right? And why this is very important. An honest relationship by this standard is the one that is free from deceit, duplicity, and dishonesty. You cannot have friends that are against the values in this book. Can I say that again?
Yeah.
And choose not to help them get the book so that their mindset can change. Because what will eventually happen is either they corrupt your mindset or you corrupt their mindset. There's no neutral friend. And in many cases, negative win better than positive.
Yeah, you're right.
Am I making sense to you? Yes. There are people you will live here now, today, and you will meet. I say, one Nigerian billionaire, I came to this book review. Wait, Nigerian billionaire. You know, say how you people are deceiving yourselves. Something must be wrong with you people. Do you know that 50% of what you learned today has just been taken out?
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, you're right.
Out. In terms of excitement, it's just been taken out. And this is the reason why a lot of our people are under.
Yeah.
So if you put I call it the crab mentality. This is a cup. So you put a crab. Let's assume this is a crab. You put one here. In a few minutes, it is out of this cup. Right? This is practical. You can go and try it at home. But pick a group of crabs and put it in a bowl. 1 year later, they're all intact in the bowl. Because as one is trying to come out, the other pull his leg
Pull it down.
and pull it down. That's what they will keep doing for years. And nobody will come in. And that's what we do in Africa. This is why I'm saying, if you want to change your story, financially, you have to change your friends.
Correct.
And the ones you know you can't change, drag them into what you know. And if you notice they are not interested, cut them loose. Because they will drag you back to where you are coming from. And this is why most of us don't make it. That's why few people have made it, they had to move. My wife didn't understand. I used to live in Songwater, it's a suburb in Nigeria. And at some point, I said, no, we're moving to a better neighborhood as we're making money in YouTube. And she didn't get it. If I will move to the new neighborhood, she hated the place, she felt the people at this. But I could see there was war. One day, we're in a house, and some burglars, guys came. And I could know they would come because, in fact, the day I arrived, because I had now started traveling a lot, the day I arrived, these bike men were telling my wife, your Oga don't come from US. Few days later, you know, I got the they didn't even find anything to take. We were able to get the police to come on time, so they ran away. We then moved to Omole. At some point, my wife was settling down there. I said, no, we're going to Banana. I got the Banana property. She refused to move for months. I said, you don't understand. As you grow your wealth, you better change your network. My first time when I moved to Omole from Songoja, my only car was less than the value of my neighbor's bike. My neighbor had a power bike. Are we learning something?
Yes, sir.
And I said, this is the right place to be. Now, I know some of you, unfortunately, I hate late nights to my meeting. Oh boy. I wish people understand how much I hate late nights. I hope people understand. And for me, it was, and this is one of the lessons you must learn. And I share that a lot in the book about how wealthy people become so first mentally before physically. Yeah. And one of the first things they do, and you must all learn it, is to first start by being happy for other wealthy people.
Yeah.
Once your mind can stop hating people for being wealthy, you're way to become wealthy. It's a matter of time. Because the first problem we have is despising rich people. Right? So I peep up the window that night when we moved to another neighborhood where it was a bit better in terms of the class of people. And I saw the expensive cars and I said, yes, this is where we need to be. I will start working hard again till I can rise to these people's level. And in a matter of a few years, I was there. And I moved to another place. When I moved to Banana Island, I knew what money is. Because that's another level. One of my neighbor has a helicopter, has a yacht, his house. When I do my evening walk, I just pray in tongues. Like, oh Lord, one day we will get here. We will get here. Okay? Oh, my neighbor is Banana Island is at my academia.
Wow.
Oh boy. You need to see his house. It's a whole different ballgame. Same to the like it. It's a whole different ball. You will dream well.
Yeah.
You what?
You will dream well.
You will dream well.
Correct, sir.
But what I shared in the book, The Billionaire Code, is that for you to begin to get to that level of billionaire status, it's not the money that makes you a billionaire. It's the mindset.